Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Châtillon 25 ton or 25 ton. It's the tier 10 French medium tank. It's located on the southwest border of Karelia and it's under the command of PGTraitor. And alongside him is Yosh, also in a back chat, Yosh87 and Feelers, and they're all from the Havoc 3 clan. Game on! Well, what can I tell you about the Batchat 25 ton? They built two prototypes and they weren't thinking about building it, but it never went into production, serial production. It was developed in the 1950s. It actually, in the game, has a stock 90mm with 6 rounds in an autoloader, and you can have 100mm also with 6 rounds, and then of course the one we've got here, which is a 105mm, capable of doing 390 alpha with each shot, 5 shells in the mag, standard APCR, 259mm of pen with standard, and with the heat rounds it'll do 330mm, but you only get 5 shots, and there's only 30 shots in the magazine in total, so you've only got 6 reloads before you're out of ammo. A few enemy tanks have been spotted over the far side of the map. Can be dangerous up on the horseshoe, but it can also be advantageous because you get to see a lot of enemy on both sides of the battlefield. And there's a T100LT, managed to sneak through. First shot hits him, low roll 360. Second shot hits him, low roll 373. And the third shot, oh, he fired him again, trying to get over the edge of the cliff there, but no. So at least 3 shells hit him. He's missing 1,100, so it's a good start, and now he's in reload. Standard reload, 39.16 seconds. PGTraitor's got it down to 36.72, and the T100 just gets wiped out by our Leopard 1. Now it's got virtually no armour, this tank. The best armour you're going to get is 60mm, that's on the front of the hull. But other than that, it's very, very light on armour. He's just found a Leopard 1. Can he get shots on that guy? Yes, he can. Oh, puts the first one in. Second one in. He's looking at the 121. He lost track of the Leopard. But that Leopard's not going to be a happy bunny, because one of those shots was a high roll for 398. So he's lost a fair bit of damage, or lost a fair number of hit points. Okay, we've got an object 140. Is he going to take a shot? Yep, gets the hit. Another high roll. Pumps another one in, but he's only got 1 shell left now. I think he aimed that in the general direction of the Progetto, hoping that it would get there. He's popped his reload again. You can see he's using up his APCR before he resorts to the heat. $2,282 hit points already. Nice total. We're making grounds on the other side of the battlefield, and somebody fired up onto the horseshoe. Okay. Can we see anyone? Okay, we've got a Jaeger this time. And he's loaded. First shot goes in, low roll 376. Second shot is a low roll 357. That one ricocheted off. Can he get a third shot in? Yes, he does, on a high roll this time. And oh my god, there's an STB-1 behind us. And he just reacts and pops that round into him, takes the kill. But he did take a round from the Leopard 1. 433, that's a 105mm round. Ouch. And that's a high roll as well for the Leopard. As I said, this thing doesn't have much armour. I don't think the STB-1 saw him, because when he was in that corner, there's bushes around him. So when the STB-1 came up onto the horseshoe, he couldn't see him at all. It was only when he backed up that he suddenly saw who was there. Okay, he's got a full mag, ready to go, but it's only 6 rounds in the mag. Oh, he's got a griller. First 1 round goes in, high roll. Second one goes in, low roll. Third goes in, a high roll. Fourth, can he get the kill shot? Yes! Nice one. Excellent. Just disposed and basically harvested that gorilla. And now he's up to 5.2k. That gorilla just was like a rabbit caught in the headlights. He didn't know what to do. He should have just scarpered the moment the shells started coming in. But he just stood there trying to aim and just took all those rounds, and now he's out the game. We're almost finished on the reload. That leopard is probably still down there though, looking for us. I think he's hovering in this area. No, Jaeger is the other side of that that ridge line. We can't do much about him. Not sure if we can do anything about this Progetto. It hasn't got very good gun elevation, this tank, I'm afraid. It's only 11 degrees. But he can hit the Heshbon. Oh, first shot missed. And the Heshbon's gone. I think he missed on one shot, but the Heshbon did die very shortly afterwards, killed by our gorilla. Okay, it's an Object 140 up there. Can he get that shot? No. Again, this elevation problem, it is a bit of a problem actually with this tank. When you go on a slight decline or slight elevation, it can be really difficult trying to get your gun up to bear on the enemy because it's only 10 degrees, but it does have 6 degrees of gun depression as well, and that's the oscillating turret, I'm afraid. It does kind of restrict you in certain directions. Okay, he thinks the leopard's down there. He's popped a reload for a full mag of heat, but that is going to leave him with a shortage because now he's only got 1 round of APCR left, and he's going to have 3 rounds of heat left after dealing with the others. So he's going to have to do a full reload just for a short load of shells. But he's indicating where he thinks the Progetto and the leopard are, and I think he's going to skip down there quickly and see if he can find that leopard and finish him off. Okay, he's loaded. Where are you? There he is. Gets the first shot in, and the kill shot comes from our Heshbon. Ooh. Oh, luckily that went into the track. He's fixed the track as quickly as he could to stop the 140 doing it again. And the 140's gone down. He was taken out by the Jaegeru on Arty. Now, can he get a shot on this Progetto? No, because the Progetto's killed by the gorilla. Okay, so it's either the Jaegeru or it's the IS-7. That's the last 2 left on the game. He's been spotted. It was the Jaegeru who saw him, yeah. But he's not looking our way, he's actually looking at our teammates. Okay, so he's 1 round short at the moment. He's going after the Jaegeru. He's gone down into the dip. In fact, he dropped off the edge there. Oh, before he could even shoot, the Jaegeru took out the Jaegeru. So all that's left now is the IS-7. And he's surrounded, so this could be a bit of fun. We're coming up behind him. He's trying to decide which way he's going to go. He's going to go around the corner. Yeah, he's occupied. Okay, did you order a proctology exam, sir? He's unloading. 1 more to kill. Yes! That's a win. Nicely done. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for PGTraitor in the Châtillon 25 ton. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, he got 8, as well as a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. He actually did get the high caliber in that game. Yes, he did more than enough damage to get it, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. Let's have a look at the team score and see how far ahead of the others he was. Oh my god, look at that, 7,000 207 hit points. Well, that gorilla certainly helped him to get to that total, and so did the IS-7 in the end. He easily scored the high caliber, because the next highest scorer to him was the Heshpan on the enemy team, who had 3,965, and the second highest damage was the Leopard 1 on the enemy team with 3,420, and the fourth highest damage was the 121B on his own team with 3,378. His two platoon mates, Yosh87 managed 2,100, so he was having a very good game, and he did get a kill. And we can see that, I think it's Felis, got 1,945 hit points, but both of them got killed in the game. He didn't get any kills himself. When it came to kills, yes, PGTraitor's got the top number again, shares it with the Heshpan. They both had 3 kills apiece. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,271 went to PGTraitor. He's the only player to get over 1,000. 880 went to the 121B, and 880 also went to Yosh87. He fired 26 rounds in this game, 22 direct hits on the enemy and 21 penetrations. The one round that didn't go through was the one he fired at the Jaeger, which bounced off the hull. I think it was just the wrong angle that he fired, because the next shot he fired did actually make contact and go through. 7,207 hit points of damage, of which 4,808 was more than 300 meters. So he's doing a lot of long-range sniping in this game. He received 2 hits, 1 penetration and 1 non-penetration. The penetration was from the Leopard 1, who was shooting at him, because you could see him after he was engaging the Heshpan, I think it was, or was it the gorilla? I think it was the gorilla, actually. He was sticking around long enough shooting at the gorilla for the Leopard to get into a position where he could fire one back. And the non-penetration, when he was very lucky, because that Object 140 had him in his sights, fired the round in, and it hit the tracks of all things. So, yeah, somebody was looking after him at that particular moment. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, 2,540 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 65,073 credits from the game, 24,403 from battle payments, a total of 131,774 credits altogether, because there's always something that What Replays doesn't mention. And after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he still made a profit of 66,713 credits, and that's even after firing a lot of premium rounds at the enemy, because he made those premium rounds work for him. 1,271 XP times 4 for the first victory, 286 for playing in a platoon, 7,914 experience points altogether. So let's have a look at the armor profile for the Black Chat. I know we've done it once before, but I'll just reiterate it. We can see that the hull armor is very weak. 50 millimeters lower plate only comes out to 65. Upper plate 60 millimeters. That's the best armor on this vehicle. And because it's well angled, you get about 110 out of it instead. There's a weak spot here where the driver's ports are. The lower part of the oscillating turret, 70 millimeters, but coming out at 94. And you've got 50 millimeters up here where it's angled, coming out at 77. The cupola is a weak spot, but then the whole vehicle is a weak spot, really. The sides of the vehicle, 40 millimeters all the way along. Sides of the bustle, 30 millimeters. And you can see at the back it's 30 millimeters as well, so it's much more preferable to hit the rear of the vehicle if you can. Only 15 millimeters at the very back on the bustle, so even a tier 1 tank could actually penetrate the rear of one of these. But the idea is actually not to be spotted by the enemy or penetrated at all. If we look at the live model, you can see where the hitbox is, and yeah, it's a very weak tank indeed. Let's have a look at the modules. Okay, well, you've got the driver up front on the right hand side, we've got the engine sitting right next door to him, and the transmission, which actually goes straight across the front of the vehicle, but in the model they've only put it on this side here. Behind the driver is an ammo rack and a fuel tank right at the back, and the tank commander is on the right hand side, of course, where the cupola is, and he's got the radio in front of him and the ammo racks in the bustle behind him as well, and that he's actually sharing the job of loader and radio operators as well. So that's why this thing takes so long to load, basically because the commander and the loader and the gunner rather are both shoveling shells into the autoloader at the time. There's the gunner on the left hand side as we look at it. So yes, it's a very compact tank, and just about anywhere you fire a shell in, it's going to hit a module because it's so tight and compressed. So yes, easy to score and knock out modules on this tank. So that's the end of the first video. We've got two for you this time. Started off with the Batchat 25 ton. Next we've got an FV4202. This FV4202 is on the southwest spawn of Live Oaks. Well, PGTraitor hasn't got any platoon mates with him this time round, and it looks like he's got a lucky horseshoe on the front of the vehicle. It's I think that's an Irish colour scheme. Didn't know there was one. Anyway, okay, this is a premium tier 8 medium tank, and it's a bit of a combination, a bit of a, as they call it, bubble and squeak tank. And if you don't know what bubble and squeak is, it's a British term for making food out of leftovers after a meal. Yes, so bubble and squeak normally contains potatoes, peas, cabbage, just about anything really, and it's fried up with something like a sausage or some form of meat. Well, this tank is a combination of a Comet, a Centurion and an FV4201. The gun is a 20 pounder, 83.4 millimeters, capable of doing 250 alpha. Is it 230 alpha? Get it right. There you go, 230 alpha, 226 with the standard armor piercing, and with the premium rounds, the APCR, it will do 258 millimeters. It was basically a test bed by the Leyland company, because of course it was built by the Leyland, the car company at the time, as a bit of a hodgepodge of everything to try and test out various features, such as a well-angled turret. It's driven by a Rolls-Royce meteorite engine, and they made 3 prototypes, and one of them was sent to Bovington afterwards, and the other one to Remy, and the third one, well, we don't know where that one went, but you can actually see it down at the Tank Museum. It's in the Vehicle Conservation Centre, so you can actually go and have a look and put your hands on it. It's a bit of an ugly tank really, I think, a bit of an ugly duckling, but it does bounce rounds rather well. It's got fairly good gun depression, 10 degrees. So it's fairly difficult for the enemy to get pens on you once you're on a ridgeline. And that's what he's using. Puts one into the tracks on the Emil. And he does the same to us. But now he's going to take this one in the hull. And yet he is vulnerable to the hull. And now he's being victimised by Arty. So we can take advantage. And another one into him. 249's a high roll. And of course we're earning extra credits for the Arty. Yeah, you got the stun assist off that one. There's one Arty either side in this battle. They're both Crusader SPs. Okay, 43 turns, going to go down with one shot. Yep, no problem with that whatsoever. Easy kill. He didn't even bother to aim with sniper view, just locked on and bang, he's gone. He's using the ground to good effect here to try and creep up on that IKV, and this is where the gun depression will really help him, because the IKV, oh, he's died already. He was taken out by our Emil 1, but we're going to try and use the ground to good effect again, because we're going to go to T27 up there. That guy's got an autoloader with 3 shots. He's sitting behind the railway station at the moment, but he'll pop out any second. There he goes. Oh, it didn't go through. How could that happen? Now that T28 over there could be dangerous to us. Depends on if he's looking this way. Is he? No, I think he's looking somewhere else, but he's going to feel those shells, and we've lost the T34-100, who just got a little too confident there. The Skoda took care of him. Yeah, he's in reload now, I think, that Skoda. But if we push up, the T28 will try and support the Skoda. That's why he's staying back here for the moment, because he doesn't want that T28 to shoot into his side. Okay, into the bush, which is good. I don't think the T28 will take blind shots, but if he does appear, our T25-2 is fairly close to that T28. We're waiting here for the moment because the Skoda's not going to take any... He's got very little armour, so the Skoda's not going to take any risky moves because it might actually end up killing him. Now I think that PGTraitor's noticed that the enemy is actually getting close to our cap area, and all we've got back there is an IKV and a Barras to try and stop the enemy taking the game, and we're 2 down on the enemy at the moment as well, so he's decided he's going to return rather than push on the enemy cap and get caught out by the T28 HTC. Actually, it's a 105mm gun on the T28, isn't it? Not the 120mm on the standard T28. But he didn't want to get caught out by 2 tanks catching him in a crossfire, and he's taken the risk of crossing the bridge, but it's worked to his advantage, and now he's got that guard. He needs to watch out that the Skoda doesn't come up behind him. Well, it looked like that guard was tracked. I think the Caro might have had a go at him. He had a thought about coming up and using the ridgeline. Oh no, he's decided to back up because the guard is in a position where we might be able to get shots on him. No, he's still in the dip. He's still in the dip. Got to watch out for that Skoda though. He might pop up behind us. Yep, he has. I was worried about that. I thought that he might try. But, oh, first shot failed. Now he's auto-aimed on, waiting for the reload. Yep, gets 1 round in before the IKV cuts in front of him, and the Crusader smacks us. Now he's going to try and use the bushes to get up the other side. He got stunned. There's the guard. He's got a shot. Fires 1 in, gets a hit using the APCR. Can he get another shot in? Nope, the guard's gone. The Emil got him in the end. The Skoda seems to have been caught out. He's now facing 3 tanks, and he didn't like that. The Baraski's in a bit of a pickle now because he's being bullied by the Viz, but the Viz gets taken out. Notice that T25-2 takes care of the Barask. And he gets a hit all the way from over here. Thin armour on the T25-2, but the T25 dives into the dip. He's having a quick look behind him. Oh, that one's whizzing past the side of the turret on Super Pershing. So he's going to use the ridgeline this side to stop these guys from getting close. Okay, he's going to find it difficult getting through, but he does. 251. Now you easily get through the side. Oh, no. Reload let him down. Standard reload 7.67. He's got 5 or 6.46. Skoda's made a big mistake. He's light, and yes, the FV4202 is heavier. So he could take advantage of that guy. Now he acts as additional armour if we wanted to hold that position. But in fact, the Super Pershing has been killed, so now he can just deal with this T25-2. That one ricocheted off the side. Can he get another one in? Yes. Come on. And I think that did pen, but we didn't get a recording of it. Unfortunately, we lost the Caro. Or did... Yes, we did lose the Caro. T-25-2 dropped down into the dip again. There's an enemy Caro around somewhere. So we're down by one tank now. He's trying to knock the trees down to provide a bit of extra cover so he can spot them before they get close. I suspect it might be easier for the Emile to make a quick move along the edge of the lake there to try and get the Caro. He's got enough hit points to do it. The only worry is the T28 HTC, who might decide to pop up and join the Caro. Now I think that T25-2 is not going to pop up because he realises there's enough tanks here to snipe at him the moment he does. The problem's that Caro. Okay, he's one shot. Oh, he's gone! Our Caro saw to his Caro, and there's the T25-2. He takes around. That's a high roll. Okay, still got the APCR. The T28 did come and join the Caro, but he left it a little too late. And that's just 3 against 3. And I think this time round we have got the advantage. We don't know where the enemy Crusader is. And I think if he now goes around, he could take out the T28 HTC. Just go down to... Oh, the T25-2's gone! He's trying to get low. That's it. Follow the edge of the lake. That's it. That's it. Creep up on that T28. He won't know what's hit him. He'll be looking at the Caro, and all of a sudden PGTraitor will come up on his side and he'll be caught out. There he is. Oh, he's actually looking in our direction. But now that means the Caro gets easy shots on him as well. And he's going to go down. Get the side of him. That's it. Yes! Nice. Now straight across the lake towards the Crusader. Oh, Arty round. We didn't get a recording of where it came from, but I suspect he is somewhere near the town. Could load the HE now because the Crusader, being an opened SPG, it's easy to damage it with HE rounds. Good, he's headed in the right direction. The others are saying he's over there as well. They said they saw the shell. Okay, the Caro saw the shell. So he's somewhere over to our left. Looks like PGTraitor's going to put the vehicle in the cap area to start forcing him to come back, or at least to fire in this direction. And then the others should be able to take him out. 4 kills already. Okay. He's going to have to get close to spot us. We've got the camp in between us and him. I don't think he's going to be inclined to get close. He probably is in grid square A1, right in the corner of the map. That's where they're headed. Yes, they found him right in the corner. Game over. Nice one. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker for PGTraitor in the FV4202. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, in fact he got 8, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, A fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He did get 4 exactly, as well as a fire effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. And he said this was a Prius ace. Nice team, rubbish tank. Well, yeah, the FV4202 is it's not great, but it's okay. It's yeah, it's a bit of a Marmite tank, you could say. If you don't know what Marmite is, it's yeast extract. It's something very particular to Britain, and not everyone likes it. You either like it and love it, or you don't. And if you don't, you hate it. Anyway, let's have a look at team score. Okay, well, he did get the highest damage in the game with 3,087, but it wasn't enough for a high caliber, I'm afraid. The second highest damage went to the Emil 1 with 2,935, and the third highest damage in the game actually went to the Tiger 2, didn't survive, with 2,668. The highest the enemy could manufacture was the Skoda T27 with 2,577. When it came to kills, it was shared actually between PGTraitor and the Emil 1. Both had 4 kills each. 3 kills went to the Caro on Arty. And when it came to base XP, it's, yep, PGTraitor's got the highest with 1,473, but he wasn't the only one who got over 1,000, because the Barask managed to get 1,113 and the Emil managed 1,066. He fired 26 rounds in this game, got 20 direct hits on the enemy and 15 penetrations. The gun isn't so great actually, it's a bit lackluster 20 pounder at this particular tier. 3,087 hit points of damage, of which 1,217 were at more than 300 meters. He received 4 hits, 2 penetrated, 2 non-penetrations, and 2 hits by way of splash damage from the enemy Arty. 600 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, 2,323 hit points of spotting assist. He earned 54 capture points at the end of the game. It was fairly obvious they were going to find the Crusader, but if they didn't find him, obviously he would have been able to cap out, because they weren't going to go chasing around the map trying to find him, because the Crusader can move quite quickly in reverse. He earned 82,000 credits for the game, 61,500 from personal reserves, a total of 184,500 altogether, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, and yes, he did fire a fair amount of APCR in this game, but he still made a profit, 57,799 credits altogether. 1,473 XP, 221 for this being a premium vehicle, and 2,431 experience points altogether. So the FV4202, I guess it's not everybody's piece of, it's not a good tank. I must admit, it's only really good if you can work it well on ridge lines to get that gun depression to work. The turret's fairly tough and rounds do bounce off, but it's that 20 pounder gun. It's not that great, and it just doesn't rack up the damage as fast as you would like it to. Let's have a look at the armor. Okay, well, you can see it's fairly well angled armor, especially on the turret and the upper plate. You can see 50.8 millimeters, but it's coming out at 95. Lower plate 76 millimeters, coming out 125. Well raked back on that one. The top of the turret is fairly well raked back. It's only 18 millimeters, but it's coming out at 178. Sides of the turret 140 millimeters, coming out, depending on where you actually look, it's actually quite strong. And you can see the turret ring area is even stronger, where it's 200 millimeters, but coming out slightly higher than that. So it's a strong tank in terms of armor on the turret. Very difficult to damage one of these. The sides, well, they've got spaced armor over the wheels, which over the bogies, which means that you actually come out with 79 or just under 80 overall, because we've got 6 plus 20 plus 50.8. So 50.8 is the sides of the vehicle, and that's the same all the way along. Rear of the vehicle is very light. It's only 31.8. Rear of the turret is 90 millimeters. So you're much better off firing into the engine bay on this one. Let's have a quick look at the live model. I know some like to see that. You can see here it's actually fairly difficult to pen that turret just by looking at the live model, but it's much easier to pen here or at the rear of the vehicle if you can. I'd stay away from the turret actually. I'd just aim for the engine bay or the sides of the vehicle, much easier to pen. Let's have a look at the modules. Okay, on this one we've got the driver on the left hand side, we've got the gunner on the left hand side and the TC sitting behind him, loader on the right hand side there. Two big ammo stores down below, the ammo rack, fairly difficult to get through because remember the armor's fairly thick there. You're not likely to get an ammo rack on this one unless you're shooting down onto it from above, or you can actually get around through that spaced armor. Remember, 18mm thick, so you'd actually have to aim fairly low. Possibly on auto aim. I don't think auto aim would work on this actually. I think if you need to aim fairly low near the bogies, but you probably hit the tracks. The engine bay is much easier to hit. It's a single big engine with transmission at the back, sandwiched between two fuel tanks. Much easier to get through that side armor there. So yep, that's where everything is, and you can see they tested the reclining driving position on this tank as well as on other tanks. But it seemed to work quite well, and in fact that's now made a feature in many tanks all over the world. So I hope you enjoyed that replay, the double replay from PGTraitor. If you did, please give the video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and please do let other people know that at the moment we're trying to raise money for the Red Cross Ukraine appeals. So the more of our videos you watch, the more funds that are generated, and 100% of the revenue from this channel is going to the Red Cross Ukraine appeals. So by watching our videos, as crappy as I might be as a commentator, watching our videos actually does help. So if you put them on a cycle that they just keep auto repeating, or it just keeps watching new ones in a cycle, then you are generating money which will go to the refugees to help them out. So please do watch as many of our videos as you can. Thanks for watching.